And of course, we're back with episode 6 of Bel-Air. Let's get through this recap. My God, let's have some fun with this. And of course, this is your first time watching this. I do these recaps in my own unique way. I recap the whole entire show. I skip 10 integral seconds because I don't want to get in trouble by Peacock or anybody else with a copyright strike. So I skip through these things and I recap the episode in my own unique, funny way. So if you, the first time you're watching this, enjoy this. Let's get into the recap. Episode 6. Let's go. All right, so this episode is called Baggage. So we get into the episode, and I love this beginning of this episode because it pays homage to one of the funniest episodes of Bel Air and Fresh Prince of Bel Air ever. When they was when they did the poison, when they had BBD at the house, and they used the house, you know what I'm saying, to shoot the video in, and they was singing BBD. One of the funniest scenes, you know what I'm saying, in Fresh Prince of Bel Air history. You know what I mean? So I love it. This is the opening. Now we get to this scene here with the protester outside of the Bel Air home. I'm not gonna lie, that Bel Air home look like Zamunda. You know what I'm saying? You know, but again, a lot of those protesters are from the city. Now that Uncle Phil is now the attorney, for that development that's down there, he's receiving a lot of backlash for that. And it again, I can understand both sides. Yes, you want to, save all the things that's going on in the inner city part of LA. That's a black area. That area needs to be preserved and all of that. But at the same time, if you really think about it, you also have to have development. You got to have money in there. And if not enough people are buying goods and services, so people could be able to pay their taxes, then it's going to get bought up. It's going to be redeveloped. So that is something that needs to be talked about when we start talking about, those neighborhoods. Are you really buying from the people in those neighborhoods, or are you taking your dollar and going elsewhere and then complain about the city getting gentrified? It's a two-way street. So we get here with Carlton is on the phone with Amir with her little cute self. I still like her character. I like her character, and I think it's a good balance for Carlton to have somebody, that is not attached to Will, that he's dating, like Lisa, or messing it up, because he was being too Bel Air like the previous seasons, but, he was like, hey, he made up a lie and said, hey, my parents would really like to see you, and have dinner, and I want you to come over. And she was like, oh my God, really? Yay. You know what I'm saying? So, but, Amira's coming to dinner. Let's just put it like that. So now we have this situation where, G and Frederick's mom is having this conversation, and he was basically talking about everything that he had to do, when he was part of the London gang. And we found out Roland, was, is still around here. It was like, hey, maybe if we get out this, if I talk to Roland, we could be able to get out this situation. You know what I mean? So they're going to apply on getting the Roland. So now, we get Will and Carlton. They got the black says. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna see if I could get me a shirt because I kind of like that. I like that black hoodie. You know what I mean? And they got stuff rolling, and now both they mamas, you know what I'm saying, is coming out with the black says gear, and they're putting it on social media. You know what I'm saying? And it's good. Again, his mom is proud that that they're doing something. It ain't just basketball. It is a business. They legitimately have a business going on with this Black Says merchandise. You know what I mean? So now we get Uncle Phil with the business partners. Remember, he dropped the email to Erica telling them that they're going to sever ties with the firm. So he's sitting there and, looking all business like. Erica's like, I know this was just personal. That's why I know you was doing it. We know what it is. And Uncle Phil was like, yeah, I know it's personal. You know what I'm saying? But, I'm going to do everything that I need to be able to set on my own 2 feet. He was like, you just can't just go on your own like that without owing up some ducats. You know what I'm saying? You without me, you ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? He was like, well, I'm going to have to do what I got to do. And Erica doesn't like that. To me, she likes the simple fact that Uncle Phil is a great attorney. He is a great lawyer. He is prestigious. We know what he brings. But she also wished that she was at Aunt Bill's place too, because space because look, they would be a power couple together, you know. So Amir, and Carlton is back at, at the AA meetings, you know, and they have this conversation. Remember, I forgot to say this in the last episode, but Carlton actually told Boy, you know, basically that, what Amira felt about him, and he went, or a homeboy told, Carlton what he felt about Amira. And Amira was like, she went to go check him, and again, I don't know what, I'm trying to find out if there's any type of interior motive or whatever, but I think because he knows her, that, he's trying to look out for Carlton, but why? I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it that he's an addict, and he's now just getting his life together and all of that. But again, in the same token, why is he throwing a mirror under the bus? You know what I mean? What did he know about a mirror that we don't know yet about her character? But Carlton says he's gonna be there for her, So we get to the scene, and matter of fact, and all I'm doing here is finding the character's name, because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot the characters' names. Well, particularly this character. Okay, so this kid doesn't have a name. Looking at the cast, unless he doesn't have a name, but they're over there talking about music and what they enjoy about your music and life and everything. And then Abdul comes in, he was like, "There's a boy in here." And he was like, "He's non-binary, so it's okay." He was like, "And still a boy," to her. You know what I mean? That's going to be a conversation that's going to be had, later. When it comes to this situation. So now, you got Will and his mom, hanging out, and then this is when Will breaks down all the stuff that Lou was gave him and everything, and how it was how they was talking about Lou, and kind of what they feel about this, and also let's get together and let's talk. Now, on a personal level, I've been through that with my own parents, and I think this episode hit a lot harder for me personally. I don't know about for you guys, but it hit a lot more personally for me because I had to sit down with my own parents, and see why they, did not, why they wasn't a couple. And you find out a lot, from that. And then Baya is talking to Aunt Viv, and they're discussing, all this stuff, the things that they went through with Lou, and and all of this, and if Will is actually able to comprehend this, and am I even willing to be able to do this for him, because I want to do what's right for my baby, but I also want to protect him. And sometimes you can't protect him for everything. You got to be able to talk about these certain things, and be able to have these one-on-one discussions, or it's going to look like you're being one-sided, like this person's the evil guy and I'm the good one, and then you grow up and you find out opposite, and then that person can hate you for that. But this is a good conversation to be able to have. Now, G is having a conversation with Uncle Phil. He was saying, "Hey, I might have to go back to London." At the end of episode, at the end of the episode, we're gonna get to what G was at. At the end of the episode, but he was like, "Hey, I might have to do what I got to do. I might have to go back to London. I might have to work for these people. All of this stuff. You know what I mean?" So, what's up? And we didn't get, if we notice, we did not get any Hillary in episode 5. She was totally MIA, for this. And then yeah, we got the LaMarcus, storyline that's going on with her, but now she comes in and she was talking to Ashley, and Ashley was asked, was like, "Hey, what is this you're working on? I got this song called, Sister," but I forgot what it was called, and she started reading the lyrics, like, "Damn, this how you feel about me? Do you know how great of a singer I am? You know what I'm saying? I will sing you to death, girl." You know what I'm saying? But if this is how you really feel, at least you didn't call me a bitch. She was like, "I ain't finished yet." They're like, "Oh my God." But that's kind of cool though. You know what I'm saying? That they can be able to talk. And again, this whole thing is about the conversations. What conversations are we having? You know what I mean? Where we could be able to get some of this stuff off. And then Carlton comes around and interrupts Aunt Viv's yoga. She was like, I wanted to break, but whatever, what you want?" And he was like, "Hey, what do you think about Amir? I kind of want her to come, have dinner." And she's like, "You know what? Fine. She can come have dinner." He was like, "Hooray!" You know what I'm saying? "Lord, let me pray about it." He over here turning cartwheels and flips. You know what I mean? So we get with Jazz, and Jazz is here talking to Uncle Phil, and he was talking about the taxes and how the developers, now this is personal for Jazz. And again, the Phil and Jazz dynamic is not like the original one because he would have threw him out the house by now. But in this one, Jazz is running that record store and it's in the neighborhood that they want to be redeveloped. And he was like, hey, they made a generous offer to be able to buy, the record shop. And if you want to keep this record shop, you're gonna have to pay your taxes. If you're not unable to pay your taxes, look at how much money you can have right now for buying out, and you could be able to relocate, start back over, do what you need to do. But again, that is his grandfather's shop, so it's more significant as just money. But how are you going to get the money to be able to say the shop is the question. And it was like, what are you doing this for? You doing this as a lawyer? You doing this as my friend? It was like, this part, as far as the paperwork is business, but I'm doing this as a friend, So we get this conversation with Will and and Vi, and again, this is a conversation that they need to have because there's more to Lou that he knows, and all he wants to do is trying to get his parents together so he's not in the dark about what's going on. You know what I mean? About his upbringing, about his father, and he needs to know about his father more than you know. And see, the cool thing is, Carlton made sure to rent out the place where where they do the AA meetings at, so they could be able to have a place to talk. And he doesn't know this is a long shot, but he's just doing everything that he needs to do to be able to get his parents together. And again, I feel him on this because I had to do the same thing with my own parents. You know what I mean? When I was younger, trying to figure out what they were, what was going on with y'all, and I think, as a kid, well, I wasn't a kid when that happened, I was more or less like 24, but between 23 and 24, but I wanted just to know what was going on with my parents. That's all I cared about. You know what I mean? And I wasn't looking at who was right, who was wrong. You know what I mean? I just wanted to listen to the stories. How did you guys meet? What did you guys do? And my parents is nowhere close to these people on TV, but Will comes in and he's talking to Uncle Phil, and Uncle Phil is actually proud of Will for making this step, because again, this is something, this is healing 101. So now we get to Jeffrey and his kid, Jeffrey's mom, which she is not listed at IMDb as far as her name. But then we have the original the original Jeffrey come through this man. You know what I mean? And he's playing Roland. And I think this was so dope that, Jeffrey gets to meet Jeffrey. I thought that was awesome. And I've seen clips of it, but I thought it was for totally something else, but it was so dope. So now we get the scene where, Amir was supposed to come to dinner, and talk with, Uncle Phil and, Aunt Viv. And this would be part two, because remember at the beginning, Aunt Viv judged the hell out of her because she came out of the same rehab that Carlton did. But at the end, I was also like, how you going to judge her? If you're going to judge her, you also got to judge him. You know what I mean? And I think she was a little unfair. So this was part two, but, Amira, dipped on him and they don't know why. She just did not show up. And it was kind of embarrassing for him because he vouched for her. This is the second time he's actually fighting for her, because she said nobody's actually fighting for her. So now that he's fighting for her, you're going to dip on me. You know what I mean? So Jeffrey is having this conversation with Jeffrey. That's what I'm going to call him. I know it's Roland, but Jeffrey's having this conversation. But he was like, look, you need to go back to London. You got debt to pay. Remember, you killed one of the top dogs. So, you're going to have to pay up. You're going to have to work that debt off. You know what I mean? So you could say what you want to, but you know what this is. And he was like, I'm not trying to do all of that. I got a life over here, and I'm not worried about your goons. I'm not worried about nothing. He was like, what do we could do? He was like, you got to go into London, son. I'm sorry, that was a horrible Jamaican accent. Please slap me in the comment section for that. But it was like, you need to be able to pay off this debt. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to pay off this debt, my man will go ahead and pay this debt for you. You know what I mean? So, so we get with Spencer is his name. And I don't know why in the last episode I forgot his name. But Spencer, made sure to open up the shop after, the AA. So, Vi, Will and Lou can be able to have a conversation. And again, Lou comes in again. Marlon kills this role for me. This role, I'm not going to lie, all of this, because I have personal experience. I'm not gonna lie, it had me in the feels, y'all. Had me all the way in my feelings. You know what I mean? And at first, they're acting like two spoiled kids. But then you start getting into the conversation about, you know, why Lou? How did Lou go to jail? Why did Lou get in trouble? And you start to hear the story that, they were out with, they didn't have money to pay lights, gas, in the house, and they were in their car. Well, heat, the gas in the house. And because he was working for somebody that owed him some money, she basically was like, look, either you gonna get this fixed or me and the baby is out, because we can't stand another day in West Philly cold, why, you're not getting this money, and the guy will repair refrigerators or something, which, again, I think this, if you know about Will Smith's story, if you ever read the Will book, that's what his father was. He was like a repairman. And Lou came down and said, hey man, you owe me what you owe. And it was like everything went so quick, it went so fast that he ended up shot. You know what I mean? And he had to, and again, this is what the character of Will Smith in this show needs. But again, this also shows that, as parents, if you got beef, you know what I mean, you could be able to talk about certain things with the other significant other, with your kids. So you're not blaming one for the other. If he left, why did he leave? Without pointing the fingers, without any of that. Let's just talk as adults. So Amir shows up, and Carlton was pissed. Was like, you know what I'm saying? I went and vouched for you, and you couldn't show up. You know how much I went through for this? And honestly, she was like, this is a bad day because this is the death of her sister. And maybe that's the reason why she was on drugs. Maybe that's the reason why she went to rehab. Maybe that's the reason why she's searching for a high, because she got a lot of emotional baggage, because of the death of her sister that she hasn't healed from. And I do like the simple fact that Aunt Viv was there, for them to hug her also, because she needs that, you know. But again, they start talking about the past, and now we're getting the happy times. And then this is where, Lou breaks down what actually happened the night, that he went to jail. You know what I mean? And again, Marlon plays this. I mean, the tear I'm talking about, man, was I in my feelings when he was delivering these lines. He was like, I didn't mean it. It happened so fast. Only thing I was trying to do was make sure that my family had heat. And I had to do what I had to do because your mama said, do what you got to do, to be able to get this thing started. So it wasn't necessarily that he did that just to do it. You know what I'm saying? He did that because he wanted to feed his family, and he hugged his son. And now he's hugging his son because he never wanted to be away from his son. This is unlike the Lou from, the Fresh Prince show. He never wanted to be without his son, and he was hugging. And again, Marlon, dude, if y'all sleep on Marlon, DJ Vlad talking about this man ain't worth that 40K. Man, paid it. This man has been working his entire life. You know what I'm saying? And to see him in these roles where he could be emotional, you know what I'm saying? Where he could be vulnerable and act. Man, this is, dude, Marlon is so freaking talented. You know what I'm saying? And then they get to hug. This is healing, y'all. I don't know. This again is when I talk about black representation on television, why I vouch for this show, why I give you these guys as reviews, because this is what I want to review. This is black healing. This is taking that baggage, unzipping it, unpacking it, you know what I'm saying, and putting it in its proper place. You know what I mean? So you could be able to heal. And this was so much healing. And this is a good example of what we could do in the black society to heal. We get back to the scene where Uncle Phil and Jeffrey is having a conversation about what he need to do as far as leaving, and does he need to go to London. And he was like, I have a way to, I got a way to pay back, Roland, but I got to do what I got to do. Now, come to find out, Jazz and the councilwoman actually used to go to school together, and this has a lot of sentimental value to him. And she was talking about how everybody used to come down to his uncle's shop or his grandfather's shop. We can believe it's his uncle's, but and they used to kick it in here, and how much sentimental value is it, and is it worth the check that they're cutting? And that's a good conversation. Again, there's duality to that. And now you have Will and Aunt Vi, just talking about, the experience with Lou and all of that, and and she needed that too. she needed to unpack her baggage, not only for her son in the way that, black women, shout out to black women because y'all protect, your children like no other. But also at the same time, don't protect them too much that it becomes detrimental to their development, especially when it comes to their father. And we need black fathers out here. And if that father has messed up and he has an opportunity to make that change, give them the grace and opportunity, to make that change. I know because I've been there, to have that opportunity so they can love on each other, not just love on the mother and hate the father, but love both of them, you know. And I'm about to see if I can buy some of that black set shirt that they got it. I might have to go back to that episode to see. But again, we get back with Carlton and Amir, and this here is they're unpacking a lot of baggage, and the things that she needs, and they confess their love to each other. He's willing to love her, flaws and all, and again, I think some of her flaws may be a little bit more than he could chew, but we're going to get to that and see what that brings us in the future. Now we get back to G. G is over here, and I got to show this scene because G came over here looking like the Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. I don't care. This is my guy. He got to be in something. I mean, he got to be. You know what I'm saying? He got to be in something. My man is just way too talented. And so he cuts open the bag, and all that time that they was boxing the bag, this bag was full of, pounds in there. Pounds and pounds. And he had to put it in the bag. So we're back with where Uncle Phil gets a letter from Jazz, was like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm not selling Charlie's vinyl. And then we get actually now, Jazz's real name is Jalir as Azir Ahmad. So, aka Jazz, Jaz. Y'all see it? Y'all see it? That's why they call him Jazz. But anyway, I think that was cool. But he was like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna beat my own drum. And again, you're still dealing with, Omar Campbell and what he's trying to accomplish. So this is gonna be a little hard. Now we get with G. G comes up and he brings down the cash to Roland. He was like, this should be able to pay down the debt. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it's gonna be the end of that. But he was like, we're gonna, this was at least a start. And we're gonna see how it is. And they shook on it. And let's see if any beef comes, but after that. But G paid his debt and he walked away like a G. Man, I love this dude. You know what I'm saying? And then we get we get to this scene where Will is with his daddy up, and I hope he does call him daddy because again, that's something that the real life Will Smith called his father. You know what I'm saying? And they get to have this, this is the invert of what happened on the actual Fresh Prince show. Remember, Lou came in on the actual show, you know what I'm saying, and showed Will all this love, hanging with him, kicking it with him, all of that stuff, and then dipped out back on the road and left him. You know what I'm saying? In this part, he was always in the city, and now he gets the opportunity to mend those fences, which we just seen in this episode, and they get to hang around with each other, play a little ball, all of that. And again, this is great for for Will, and again another excellent episode, of Fresh Prince. And again, I love this. But again, what are you guys thinking about this show? What do you think about this recap? Do you think that this show is showing how we can heal as black people? Are you seeing certain things that I'm seeing through this recap? Put in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe higher. Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over? What? Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.